fate of heroes, legends old. In his stories their glories unfold. Baz the Bard with strings of gold. His heart cries out the tales he's told.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Meta Report. It's the last week of Skirmish and I've been joined as ever by Scott. How's it going, Scott?
I'm doing really well, thank you, Baz. Looking forward to my last instalment for hopefully a little while. I'm embarrassing myself on the internet. But should be a good time. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Life has calmed down. It's been a pretty hectic couple of weeks and I think I've sort of like managed it thanks to your advice. You know, my life sometimes is a bit crazy.
All the exciting ones are. Normal lives are boring. So glad that things have mellowed out a bit, though.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So hopefully we won't make any more boo-boos. But yeah, fingers crossed. Let's go for it. So as ever, like and subscribe to the show. Join my Patreon if you're able, and you can get the benefits of 10% off by the same token and Thistle Tavern Flesh and Blood products. And every 3 months you'll get a discount on PCG grading. Okay, and that is equal to the amount that you've actually paid into the Patreon. So if you paid for the £5 subscription, you'll get a £15 discount code. Okie dokie. If you are unable to support me on the Patreon, please like and subscribe, and that would be absolutely fantastic. It all helps.
Yeah, it's statistically proven you've got a bigger chance of winning a calling if you subscribe to Baz the Bard. So press the button. Don't have a terrible weekend. No reason to make it harder on yourself.
Oh, I wish that was true. Right, okay, so let's look at the Skirmish leaderboard. There is no change of the top 5 in their order. Bravo's definitely didn't get any more points this week, and neither did Dory. But the other two, Blaze is scaling up there. Shouldn't take her long to surpass Bravo for sure. And KO is making sure that OG Prism does not overtake him.
Yeah, very interesting stuff to see KO and arguably Dromai performing so well last week. Kind of agree with you on the Blaze front. I expect it to be in front of Bravo in a blink of an eye. Mm-hmm. You know, it won't be long now at all. Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if she's out of here before Dory, which would be a bit sad, really.
It's a shame we're not going to have the week 3 results, because this comes out like we record this at 8 o'clock on the Monday evening, and then the results will be out about 10 o'clock our time, so we should be all done and dusted. The only thing changing is Dromai scored more wins than KO last week, so they're kind of like honours even at the minute. But what we are seeing is sort of like, even though we're seeing sort of like big wins for Verdance and Aurora, it not necessarily translating into that's always going to be sort of like the most heroes represented at an event, which is you don't really get that for Classic Constructed. You always see that for Classic Constructed. If Aurora was the most represented, she will be the most represented virtually on every tournament.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, really. I think if you watch the most recent dev talk, they kind of talked about this a bit in Blitz and LL, where Aurora's been showing up in ridiculous numbers, which is just kind of naturally converts to some level of success from sheer quantity alone. Mm-hmm. And that's what they wanted, right? They wanted this first strike to armory deck to CC pathway, and clearly it's working because people are just playing their socks off when it comes to Aurora. There's just a million of them out there. Verdance is, I guess, a little bit more impressive in that capacity because you've got to deliberately buy your way in and decide to play the deck, and there's less people that are willing to do that than just pick up an armory deck and expand.
Yeah, Felon of the Crown is certainly a card. They're really hard to get hold of still, holding their prices as well. So, Starvo's done that a little bit. Verdance, Florian, it is a very good card to pick up if you're going to get into Earth for sure.
Yeah, just got to put most of the credit for that one on Felling of the Crown itself. Read the thing. Any Earth hero they put in the future is going to want that, and no questions asked. So, it doesn't hurt to own a couple copies.
Indeed. Right. Let's get on with the first game. This happened actually on Monday last week whilst we were recording. This is Dark Star Gaming in Plymouth, 12 players. So, if you've followed the rest of the Skirmish season, you'll know that 8 to 12 players is the average. Anything over that, man, you've got a good armory going on and you've got a good gaming scene. Okay, but we said you don't normally see sort of like heroes that are doing really well take top honours, and we have Verdance, 2 of them.
Yep, a little bit easier when the events are this diverse, I should say. 2 Verdants is good to see, though. A couple of really sweet ones here. Crossing my fingers for the Dory would be nice to see a miracle. But some unusual ones here as well. Benji, maybe not quite as well positioned since he lost his Zephyr Needles. Azalea, not typically a typical choice in this format either. And I got a bit of a soft spot for Enigma New Moon, who was just a very cool hero that I kind of wish I could play in Classic Constructed. So hopefully she's having some luck over in Blitz.
Yeah, maybe when Enigma Living Legends out, we might get the New Moon variant, but we shall see. A few years
Don't
yet.
give me hope.
But let's see who made it. We've got Steve Phillimore on Verdant. Sorry, put my teeth in. Nathan Eastwood on KO. Tobias Lee on Dory, and Jacob King on Verdants as well. So both Verdants get into the top 4.
Yeah, obviously somewhat to be expected if you believe the results so far. The deck's just exceptionally good and is if not the deck to beat in Blitz, one of those considerations. Part of that is because decks like Dory really struggle into decks like Verdants. It's very hard to kind of force your way through a pile of defense reactions and good defensive earth tools. So I got to think I'm siding with Jacob King on that one. KO Verdants is significantly more interesting, bit more of a marquee matchup of the format. And I guess for a bit of variety, I'm going to hope that Nathan took it down.
Okie dokie. Well, let's see on that one. He did take it down, but Dory came good on the on that game versus Verdants.
Very impressive stuff there, Tobias. That's not easy to do. Well, this is not a matchup I'm super familiar with, truthfully. From what I understand, it's a bit of a ships in the night kind of situation. Dawnblade races incredibly well, and KO doesn't mind trying to do the same. But if Tobias could beat a Verdants, I gotta hope they can beat a KO as well. So let's cross our fingers and see if they managed it. Okay,
let's have a look. It was KO taking that one. Didn't quite race it, but yeah, it's nearly sort of like classic battles front, isn't it? It's a brute versus warrior, but not quite.
Yeah, I mean, Reinhard doesn't mind being retired. He's retired everywhere else. I'm sure KO can pick up the spotlight on his behalf.
Yeah, I sure he don't mind. Let's go on to the other game that was on, or the other event that was on the Monday night. Rising Phoenix Games in Middlesbrough. 17 players for a school night. Oh my God. Well done. The one that really sticks out for me is KO Berserker Runt. I love playing KO Berserker Runt.
I'm looking down at the best deck in the format, that lovely Shiana down in the bottom corner. I wrote an article about Shiana in Blitz recently over on TCG Player. I love the deck. It's maybe the only thing that could convince me to play Blitz again. It's just, there's nothing in Fab quite like playing up the ante on a shakedown. It's just beautiful in every way. So I'm hoping they had a wonderful event there. Otherwise, 2 Terra, a little bit surprising at this point, I think. People have kind of cottoned on that he's maybe not the best of the Earth heroes, truthfully. So good to see a few people bringing him out and taking him for a spin. Otherwise, a very brave Katsu to be found in this event as well.
Yeah, well, it brings everyone comes out for Skirmish. Sort of like, if Katsu's your favourite hero, then go for it. But let's see who made it into the top 4. We've got Craig Johnson on Arachne solitary confinement. Sorry, there's so many of them now. I'm trying to remember which one's which.
There's like 9, yeah.
He's got 4 skirmishes under his belt. Eric Hoth, also on Arachne solitary confinement. Now, I've known Eric to play Assassin since Assassin ever came out. It's just like, blimey. Okay, still going for it. Paul Goodchild, any excuse to play Dromai. He's got a skirmish under his belt. And Anya North on Aurora.
Paul is a very good Dromai, and as you say, any excuse. It's hard not to back him there, but I do think I would prefer to be on the Aurora side of that exchange myself. So I'm going to assume that Anya took it down and not be surprised if Paul managed to do it instead. That being said, we've got a rule at this point when it comes to Blitz and mirror matches, and I'm going to take a quick look at the alphabetical order on those names, and we're going to go for Craig Johnson and see if we can stick the landing.
Okay, right. Well done. There we go. You nailed it.
Never fails, ladies and gents. Never fails. That being said, I think this is one of the matchups that Arachne Solitary Confinement wants to see. And it's obviously, it's Blitz, it's Aurora. Anything could happen, but I think I'll be backing Craig to take this down. Okay. Let's have a look if that was the case. It wasn't. It was Anya. Well done, Anya. You've made it into loads of top cuts this year and last year, and finally you've won an event. So well done. Well done indeed. Huge congrats. Yeah, it's good stuff. Hard matchup to win in the finals too. So good to see you taking it down on Aurora, Anya. Well done.
let's go to Wayland Games. These were supposed to be on the Sunday, but they moved it to the Saturday. 8 players. There's a lot of brutes here. It's just like, normally I would look to see this in sort of like East Anglia, Norfolk region. It is brute country, but this is not in Norfolk. This is slightly south. But yeah, there's a heck of a lot of brutes.
Yeah, half the room rolling scabskin leathers is certainly a choice. I'm also kind of curious about these 2 Riptide. It's kind of a deck we saw turn up, I think, in Barcelona, I think it was, in some amount of force. The last time people had the chance to play the format, but it's kind of been absent ever since then. Definitely hasn't really been showing up in this skirmish season either. So curious one to see 2 copies of. I wonder if 2 people are talking to each other.
Only 2 Riptide players. Yeah, there we go. But what we have is there was no top cut because there was only 8 players. Okay, so this is kind of like the top 4. So well done, the top 4. Mike Linos on Blaze, Joel Bluer on Kano, Paul Wild on Levia, and Sam Sigrist on Riptide. So one of the Riptides got through. Okay, so we won't do the matchups because that wasn't a thing. But
sure,
these are the top 2. Okay, so which one of these do you think actually took it down? Who was the undefeated?
This is quite literally a die roll in every sense, which is kind of funny when you think about it. That being said, in a brute off, I've got to imagine the one that has access to Carrion Husk is slightly ahead of the other. So I'm going to assume this went to Paul.
Let's confirm that. It was Paul. Well done, fella. Well done. Well done, Scott, as well, for that one.
Hey, I got broken clocks right twice a day, Baz. That's
indeed. Well done. Yay! Point to Scott. But congratulations, Paul. It's not many times that Levia wins recently, so very well done indeed.
She's under-respected in Blitz, I think. I think KO steals a lot of the limelight, but she really is quite good.
Yeah, I think I actually had to make the disc up for the meta map for Levia. So that's it goes to show that she doesn't win at all really in the UK. So this is the 4th year that I've been doing the meta report, and that's the first time I've had to make a Levia disc. All right. So,
oh, crikey. Yeah. So, well done, Paul. Clearly the best accolade of the week, mate. You made Baz do extra work.
Yeah, indeed. I was like, what the hell's going on? Let's go to Gemini Games in Huddersfield. It's not their first rodeo. They have done events before, but sort of like don't really see these running Fab, but welcome to the Fab family running events. 16 players is a very good turnout. It's got sort of like they're on that corridor between Manchester and sort of like York. There's loads of good events that happen all the way through the north there. 3 Aurora, so best hero in the format. She comes out in force for this one.
Yeah, good to see. Always had a soft spot for Gemini since they became Gemini Games not so long ago. Definitely had my fair share of good events with them back in the Magic the Gathering days as well. So happy to see them running some things for Flesh and Blood. That being said, this is a very stock kind of meta game we're expecting at this point. Maybe the 2 Dories is a little bit surprising given how volatile she's been. Cool to see Evolder. Obviously, Guardian of Choice is a bit of a flavour of the week situation depending on what you prefer. But good to see her. Always happy to see her. Yeah. Pretty stock otherwise. Might be
Tom Barnaby Pass. He played Valda in the last skirmish.
I remember.
Did very well with her. Whether or not he came to this event, I don't know.
He does play Volder religiously, does Tom, and it does make me happy to see.
Tom, if you were playing Volder at this event, let us know in the comments, all right? Top 4 time. Oh my God, it's Aurora. Isaac Fogg has won a skirmish. Seb Ball has won an RTN 2 skirmishes. Aaron Parsons is on Aurora, and Jake Warburton top 8 at Pro Tour Baltimore, an RTN and 2 ProQuests under his belt.
Good to see Jake hanging out. Yeah, I've kind of established a few times, I think, at this point, I like the assassin side of the Aurora matchup, but yeah, it's Blitz is however it goes. Given that existing bias and maybe a little bit of a bias towards Jake as well, I'm probably going to back them on that side of the bracket, and we'll stick to our steadfast rule on the other side. It is a mirror match, so we'll take a quick look at the alphabet, and that would make it Isaac Fogg.
Makes me think that I need to mix these up a bit. Okay, Seb Ball got through versus Jake. So,
damn,
is it going to be the same? Because 2 very good players.
Absolutely, yeah. The rule has failed. I've lost my trust in alphabetical order, unfortunately. But I have not lost my trust in Jake Warburton, who is still a beast of a player when it comes to Flesh and Blood, and I will be backing them in this final. And I'll be very, very happy if Seb proves me wrong.
Okay, let's confirm who won. It was Seb. Well done, Seb, for that. You are showing that you are a class Runeblade player, not just a Viserai player. You can do it with Aurora as well.
That's not a Runeblade, Baz. I encourage you to look closer. That's definitely a ninja. 100% a ninja right there.
you made me second guess myself there. I was like, what have I messed up?
No, simply a ninja that gets access to Grasp of the Art Knight, which I'm not sure is particularly fun or fair, but congratulations to Seb, by the way.
We're all used to sort of like Rune Blades having 0 for 4, so we go again. That's their bread and butter. Let's go to the south of the country. Entoyment Wargaming and Hobby Centre in Poole. 20 players. Oh my God, well done. 20 players, fantastic. I don't think Tom Barnaby Pass went all the way to Poole to play Volta though. But yeah, could be proved wrong.
I really hope he proves you wrong. That'd be a stellar comment to find in the comment section. That being said, few cool ones here. 4 Aurora is a lot, but this is kind of what I expect. I think with a lot of people that are breaking into Fab, getting into the game, that pathway has been chiseled out for you. It makes a lot of sense. That it's the deck that you're kind of picking up and running with. She's also just very good. Some of the cooler ones, Max Nitro, get ahead of the Armory deck, get ready to wrench some people. Nice to see a Fang hanging out as well. Definitely found some success in CC as of late. And of course, the likes of Lexi, Volder, some Prism as well. Really good mix in this event. Very happy to see it.
This is the highest event that Terra has ever been in. 2 Terra, the whole 2. Ooh. Yeah, indeed. Right, let's see who made it into the top 4. It is James Traylor on said Max, Marcus Archer on Lexi, Bruno Krakow on Dromai, and Ben Westmore on Terra.
Oh, I kind of hope that Dromai Terra is as cool as Dromai Oldham used to be, because that matchup used to be very dynamic in Classic Constructed, and I'm sure they can tell me about it if it's the same in Blitz. With that being said, I'm actually going to back the Guardian there. I'm not actually sure if Terra plays quite as many poppers as a deck like Oldham used to, and that's probably a pretty big tiebreaker here. But I am going to back Ben. Sounds like a fun time to me. Max Lexi is a matchup I have no existing context on whatsoever. I don't even know what Max looks like in Blitz, to be completely honest with you. But I think that's probably just going to lead me to leaning towards Marcus here on Lexi, because I think that deck's quite good. So We'll go Marcus Ben.
Marcus Ben. Let's see if it was Marcus Ben. It wasn't. It was Marcus Bruno. Apparently Ben, his deck deserted him on the very last turn. He needed a popper and he didn't get it.
Couldn't find one. Yeah, it makes some sense, unfortunately. This one, Taylor's oldest time here. Pseudo-aggressive deck versus Dromai. Really big question, I think, is whether or not Marcus is kind of more ice-centric or lightning-centric as to how I think this would go. I do think I'm probably going to back them in the dark, though. So let's say Marcus took this down.
Okie dokie. Let's see. It was Dromai. Dromai took that. Bruno was undefeated on the day, 8-0. So well done,
yeah,
Bruno.
That doesn't
Fantastic.
surprise me. Bruno's a bit of a monster as well, and I'm pretty sure you can win a skirmish with a ham sandwich, my friend. So pretty happy to see you take him on down, Dromai or otherwise.
Okay, let's go to Beanie Games. These haven't run an event in a while, so it's good to see them. Used to run events in the past, and glad to see them back. 12 players, so good turnout. Yoji.
I'm looking at that Yoji. Yeah. Jinx. Looking at that Yoji in the corner. Not a big fan of this man. Deserted his post after his boss got killed. Kind of rude, honestly.
It's out of a job, isn't it?
Yeah, disgusting behaviour. I'm sure he could probably get picked up by Dromai or something. But, 21 health Guardian, normally a fatigue deck of choice. Basically, flavour of the week of Guardian once again. Otherwise, a lot of what you expect here again. Cool to see a Vincent. I think it's another deck that's maybe a little underappreciated in this format. Florian as well, definitely kind of falling out of favour compared to Verdance at the moment. But again, a good healthy mix of these things, and the 2/2 are just decks we expect to see quite a lot in the current Blitz format.
Yeah, so let's see who made it through into the top 4. Craig Johnson again. Oh my God. On exactly the same hero. Arachne Solitary Confinement, 4 skirmishes. Ella Brown on Verdance. Josh Newton on Yoji, he's got a skirmish. And Benjamin Marshall on Terra, who also has a skirmish. So I think that game might be a bit slow between Yoji and Terra.
Yeah, huge props to Josh, because as a Yoji, not necessarily one that sees much of the light of day, so nice to see him making a top 4 here. That being said, in the Guardian off, I think I have to back the one that has Crown of Seeds. I think that's a pretty pivotal part of how that matchup likely plays, I guess. So I'm going to go with Ben on that side of the equation. And, the Assassins don't really want to see the Wizards. It's really not their favourite flavour of the week, so I'm gonna back Ella on Verdance on the other side.
Okay, let's see that. You are correct. Ella with Verdance versus Benjamin on Terra. It's an Earth off.
It is an Earth off, and I'm correct so far, which means I will fluff the final. That's how these things have been going the last few weeks. That being said, I would prefer to be on Ella's side of this equation by quite a bit, so I will take Ella Brown on Verdant. Okay,
let's see. You fluffed it again. Okay, well done, Benjamin. Benjamin, the first win with terror. Well done indeed.
I'm like the biggest bad luck charm in Blitz going. Just stay away from me. Ask me what I think, do the other thing. It's just
well, let's see if you can continue your ways as we go to EH Gaming in York. 15 players, a good turnout for Mr. Ross Hewitt at EH Gaming. So Benji makes his way here again. Two Syndra. She hasn't really turned up at all in Blitz season.
No, not really. I think people have kind of cottoned on how to block her a bit in all formats, which has definitely kind of dialed down her power level just a smidge. But yeah, a little surprised to see 2 Syndra, 2 Prism as well. Honestly, not one that seems to be turning up in numbers right now. 3 if you count the other variation of Prism. Yeah. Love to see a newfangled Dorinthia here, the Quicksilver Prodigy. She's a favourite of mine as well. Otherwise, yeah, again, I feel like we're saying this a lot at this point, but this is just kind of what you expect. It's a good mix. There's clearly a lot of viable heroes in Blitz, and people are kind of picking up their preferred flavour, which is very cool. Indeed.
Dory Quicksilver Prodigy. Josh Lau says it's the best warrior to take for Blitz. So, let's see how she does. It is Adam Tobin on Dromai, Thomas Davies on Arachne, Solitary Confinement, Rob Catton, Top 8 Worlds, San Jose. Top 8 Worlds, Osaka. Calling Liverpool Battle Hardened winner. RTN, 3 ProQuest, 6 Skirmishes, and a partridge on a pear tree. Rocking Prism. And Richard Lythe on Vincent.
Yeah, one of these days, Rob is going to win so many things that the episode just takes 2 hours as you read off his list of accolades. It's going to be kind of crazy. I imagine Vincent Prism's actually kind of interesting, honestly. There's obviously the dynamic there of busting your way through a big old pile of ward, courtesy of some shadow non-attack actions, but I'm not entirely sure that matters all that much in Blitz if you're more Herald-centric, and I'm also not sure you get the time to find too many shadow non-attack actions either. So add in my bias to not bet against Rob, and I'll probably take Rob on that side of the bracket. On the other side, I think I would love to be the Dromai in the face of Arachne, truthfully. So I'll take Adam and see how we go.
Do you think if Rob Catton had made us like like an OG prison deck with the blue auras, like, do you really see Vincent actually getting through that? She's not going to have the time to pop any, is she? I just don't think that kind of level of auras is viable in Blitz right now, truthfully. I think you just get run over by a lot of other people, is the truth. Sad, but it is what it is. Let's see who made it. It was Arachne and Thomas Davies versus Prism with Rob Catton.
Well, clearly, Thomas doing a good job. Definitely the assassin you want to beat on in the face of Illusionist, because you are the only one with some natural go again. That being said, I still think I would much rather be on the Prism side of this equation, so I'll take Rob Catton.
Okay, why would you bet against Rob? Okay, he won it. Well done, Rob. Fantastic. Was there ever in doubt that Rob was going to win another one? That's 2 skirmishes with Prism that he's won now.
I've got a good feeling the cold foil CLFs are just sitting in his drink holder in his car. Just forgotten about him, racking them up like infinity stones. Just very, very Rob. He's very good at card games. Congratulations, Rob.
Let's go to Cosmic Collectibles in Welshpool. 13 players. It's becoming a bit of a sort of like traditional place to play Flesh and Blood now. Kind of came on late, sort of like last year, and they're picking up all the good events for sure.
Yeah, I keep hearing some whispers about Cosmic Collectibles. I need to make my way over to that neck of the woods eventually when the journey won't kill me. But yeah, good turnout. Great meta game. A lot of what we expect. Good to see Data Doll kind of as the 2 of here. She is a real menace in this format. Maybe a bit of a fail rate included, but she's a very real deck. So seeing her kind of getting the metagame share in one of these is very sweet. Cool to see a Riptide again, another Prism, another Dory, Quicksilver. Some off-ball choices, but they're all defendable, and then the rest of this room looks very much like you'd expect.
Yeah, Mechanologist has kind of done well for UK, Ireland, and Sweden. For this season, so let's see if they can make it through. We have Daniel Curry with KO, we have Hannah Hancock with Florian, Ryan Jackson with Aurora, and Shy Edgington with Data Doll. He's got a skirmish win.
Very cool. So Florian KO is going to be a pretty curious one. I have to imagine Florian's quite happy with that. You block surprisingly well. Crown of Seeds is a beast. I don't think you're too worried about too much damage leaking. You have one heck of a fridge. So I'm going to go with Hannah on that side of the fight. Mm-hmm. Data Doll Aurora, I mean, flip a coin. Yeah, very much depends who was going first, who was going second, and whether or not Data Doll decided to explode on impact. I do tend to take her in these situations just to spite Liam Holden, so I'm going to continue to do that. And I'll go with Shy on this side and see if Data Doll carried on.
Okay, so you're going Florian Data Doll, right?
That's the plan.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we've got KO with Daniel Curry and Aurora with Ryan Jackson. Maybe you'll be better at this one.
That just means I get the final right. We've learned how this works at this point. If
Absolutely.
I fluff, it's never in doubt. Never in doubt. For that reason, I'm going to say Ryan. I'm going to let you make me look very stupid. So Aurora, Ryan, did you win? Let's
see. Oh my God, it does work like that.
Strange.
But true. Righty, let's go over to Sweden now. It is Cool Cards in Karlstad. 14 players, so better than average. Yoji comes out to play again here. But yeah, even when you go to Sweden, lots of one-offs.
Yeah, I mean, I expect this at these skirmishes. People decide to play their flavour of the week and the thing they enjoy the most, which is just very cool, very cutesy. Makes me very happy to see it. Two Joy Mine may be a little unusual. Levia being the most played brute, definitely a little unusual, but one I'm actually very happy to see. I do think the deck is pretty under-respected in the format in general. As you say, Yoji, perfectly fine choice if you want to just play a Guardian with enough health, and cool to see a Syndra again here as well. So yeah, good mix. Nice to see some different 2-ofs, a little bit more Data Doll if we're lucky.
Yoji, his hero power is literally, I can take some damage for you. Why would you take Yoji when he doesn't really have a hero power? Literally for the 21 health.
It's about sending a message. Yeah. You can play Volder if you want. Same story, 21 health, very real hero ability, but that's not quite as funny, is it? So we'll play Yoji instead. And that's very much from what I understand is the dynamic there. So. Okay,
fair enough. Oh, let's see if Yoji made it. Right, Nicholas Bankston on Blaze. He's got 2 RTNs. Alex Moynier on Data Doll. Albert Schutt on Dory Quicksilver Prodigy. And Nicholas Asner on said Yoji.
Yeah, I have to imagine the Warriors are probably one of the matchups you want to see if you're playing like hard fatigue Yoji. I would have thought it's hard for them to go too big too often. I don't have a lot of experience with the Quicksilver Prodigy, admittedly, so maybe that's not the dynamic there. But I do think I would probably pick Nicholas in the dark. Blaze Data Doll, I mean, someone's going to explode. Not clear who's responsible or who it is, but I do think I would probably take Data Doll in the dark here. So let's go Yoji Data Doll.
Yoji Data Doll. Okay. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Data Doll versus Dory. Alex versus Albert.
Very cool. Not sure how the rules work on this. So I got half the semi-finals right, so I don't think I can get half the finals right.
You're in dangerous territory now. You're in the
unknown ground. Yeah, it's totally strange and unusual. Very cool to see Albert taking this down on Quicksilver. I guess I need to understand a bit more about that matchup. That being said, I think I would probably take them here in this final. So let's see if Albert took it down.
Okay, let's see. There we go. Albert won. Well done. Quicksilver Prodigy, the best warrior that you can play for Blitz.
Apparently,
if you listen to the card guys.
Close bracket. Yeah.
As endorsed by Josh. There we go. Right, let's go into London. Spellbound Games, Living Legend event. 6 players for this one. Oh, look, your favourite Icelander's here.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. My heart tells me it's probably Samee Braben because he's also hung up on her like I used to be. But I don't know that for a fact. I'm sure they can correct me if it was somebody else. But fair play to you. I'm always going to respect anyone brave enough to play our girl because holy crap, you have no good matchups. With that being said, this is a lot of heroes you would expect to see in Living Legend otherwise. Briar, obviously, with that power level spike from Armory Deck Aurora with the same power level spike. And then just some of the best heroes we've seen in Flesh and Blood history with a little bit of Berserk KO tapped on for fun. So, yeah, good mix.
Whenever I see Living Legend and I see Briar and I see Lexi, it's just like, oh, God.
No, nothing wrong with reasons. One of those. Yeah,
but let's see who made it. It is Edward Bayford on Aurora. There's no top cut, so this is basically the top 4. Okay. Sure. Antonis Gazouris on that's KO Armed and Dangerous. Andrew Moore on Islander. It wasn't Samee. Samee's more sort of like Midlands and north of England now. I don't know why he's up there. I mean, might be university. I don't know. And Isaac Dearlove on Briar. Antonis Gazouris got an RTN under his belt, if I didn't mention that before. If I did, you got a shout out twice. There we go. So let's see who made it, because this isn't actually matches. This is just top 4.
I see. Sure.
So these are the top 2 players. Okay, so honours to either of these 2. Okay, so KO on Antonis Gazouris or Isaac Dearlove with Briar.
This is actually kind of an interesting matchup in premise. I feel like Briar's power level increase is pretty real, but I don't think it makes you any better into KO's nonsense, truthfully. So I think I probably have to take KO given the choice. So I'm going to go with Antonis on KO.
Let's have a look. It was Antonis. Well done, mate.
Hey, look, Living Legend's not foreign to me. I understand this format. Blitz, Living Legend. Yeah, okay, I'll take my wins where I can get them.
You were getting better at Blitz. It's a shame we're on week 3 in the last one. Let's go over into Nottingham itself. This was on Mother's Day. They managed to get 8 players, 2 prisms, and a smattering of the rest. Oh, chains back.
Yeah, those dastardly illusionists. And I mean, if you listen to the Waves at the minute, if you're a fan of the Runaways, you'll know that I'm on a similar thought process that Runegate Chain probably is the best deck in this format right now. I think it is far and away the most powerful thing you can be doing. Cull is a messed up card in Chain, would you believe? But I don't think there's necessarily too many events coming up that will influence them to make any bannings or changes to change that. So I think the deck's crackers. Not surprised to see it kind of coming out of the woodwork here. But yeah, a little bit of Prism. Someone holding their own on Arya's favorite himbo with Staria, with Savo as well. And then there's a lot of the heroes we're used to seeing at this point. So yeah, good format, good field.
Yep, let's see who made it into the top 4. So Noah Hicks on Chain, Darren Hazelden on Prism, Oliver M on Briar, and Isaac Murray on Starvo. So as it was only 8 players, there was no top cut, but we've got the best 2 players here. So was it Noah Hicks on Chain, or was it Isaac Murray on Starvo?
So this is the contentious matchup of the format right now. Is Starvo still the best deck without all his somersaults, or is it actually Runegate Chain? I kind of ruined my own surprise here. I think it's Runegate Chain, so I'm going to go with Noah Hicks.
Okay. Did Isaac spoil your party? He did indeed. Well done, Isaac. Played when Starvo was a thing, and he's not lost how to play him.
He is the star of the show, after all. You can't take it away from Bravo. Deck is, make no mistakes, the deck is very good. I'm not for a second saying that it isn't. So congrats to Isaac there. And maybe not the most surprising of winners.
Yeah, the first time I played Starvo was in Living Legends, and it was basically at Christmas last year, and I had lots of fun. I mean, I lent out Starvo. We had the Starvo deck, me, Mike, with our collection, and we just lent it out. So I never played Starvo at all when he was a thing. So I can understand why people like playing him, because
there's something very therapeutic about putting your hand on the table and just saying the word Yahtzee repeatedly as you then send large chunks of damage at your opponent's skull. I also missed most of that CC format, funnily enough, because it lasted for about 4 weeks before he managed to get himself to 1,500 points and sunset himself. So I didn't actually get to play the deck that much myself. But he is a bit of a monster. And make no mistake, the Living Legend format is formed around Starvo. He is very much balanced to a T to allow him to remain playable. And as a result, you should be expecting him to go nowhere. He is going to be one of the faces of this format for the rest of time, because they clearly want that to be the case.
Yep, and if they release any more Ice, Earth, Lightning cards, I
guess we'll be banning some of them as well. But yeah, it turns out Felling of the Crown, not bad. Somersaulting a Felling of the Crown, also not bad.
Let's go to Dublin. It's the last one over in Ireland. 8 players. Talk about Starvo Fest. Everybody wanted to play him here, but one new. A new's made it into the Living Legend.
Yeah, this is maybe the narrowest field we've seen all season, to be honest. This might be the only time I've seen a single one on this board that wasn't a draft in the longest time. and yeah, fair play. I think all these decks are great. New is an interesting choice. I have to imagine this is probably just CYB New would be my thoughts. Somebody trying to get frisky with it. But I love Viserai in this format. I think he's great. And the other two, of course, just two of the most iconic heroes in Flesh and Blood history. So no surprises there.
Let's see who made it. No top cut again. Indigo Bosworth on New. Ian Holland on Viserai. He's got an RTN, 2 ProQuest and 2 Skirmishes. Lorenzo Patron also on Viserai. He's got an RTN and 2 Skirmishes. And I want to say hello. It might be Jello Salomon. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. On Starvo.
I'd have paid good money to be in this room. I reckon this game between Ian Holland and Indigo would have been an absolute cracker from both gameplay and hilarity. I would love to have seen this game. If you're not familiar with Indigo, responsible for the Arachne wheel over in Prague. Lovely individual, yes. And of course Ian, a well-known voice of the League That Means Nothing. So yeah, would have been a great one to see. That being said,
but there's no top cut, so
no, that's ruined all my fun.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
They might have played in the Swiss, who knows? But the 2 players that made it through, okay, the 2 top players,
please,
right.
No! Nothing against you, Lorenzo. I'm sure you're fantastic, and I'm very happy that you made this finals, but I had a dream in mind, and sadly it has not come to fruition. That being said, I actually don't know a ton about how this matchup plays in terms of LL. I'm sure there's a whole different dynamic, given Viserai is usually quite a different deck.
How is it different from what we saw for Classic Constructive? Because it was only a couple of weeks ago when he made it into this format, realistically, when this is his only format.
So the truth is, most people aren't building Viserai like an OTK deck anymore. If you want to do that, you're typically playing Florian. He's a better one to do it, gets Crown of Seeds in the format, and makes 100+ rune chance a bit easier than Viserai does. So this deck tends to be closer to what we saw in CC just before he LL'd. But you have Bloodchief Scalia, which does change the dynamic of things a little bit. Sonata Arcanix is still a pretty fluffed up card. Sonata Phantasmia in some of these lists can be a very messed up card if you manage to line it up on your Scalia turn. So there's a lot of power there alongside the existing power that we just saw towards the end of CC that makes Viserai a bit of a menace. I don't know enough about this matchup to be sure. I feel like I'd have heard more audible complaints if CYB New had won a skirmish. So I'm going to have to guess that they didn't. And so I'm going to go with Lorenzo on that alone.
Okay, let's see. Lorenzo did win. Well done, Lorenzo. You're pretty good at working out Living Legend winners, aren't you? You're good.
It's almost like this format makes sense to me. I hold nothing back. Blitz is great. I'm glad people enjoy it. It's just not my cup of tea. I fail to understand it at the best of times, and it feels like I'm flipping coins a lot. LL, I've just played a lot more of these heroes. I have a better understanding of what they do, what their matchup spreads look like, and that makes it a bit easier to guess. So.
Cool. One last place to go. Alphaspel in Stockholm. 8 players. Considering this was a Living Legend, 3 Zen. Is everybody else missing something?
No, I mean some people just want to play Bonds of Ancestry and feel something, and that's okay. You only get one of them in LL. You don't get to just do the full degenerate nonsense, but it's still a heck of a card. And I think honestly, it's probably the closest counter you get to Runegate Chain. I do think that deck is still ahead there, but Zen State tokens are very good into Runeblades, and there is a lot of Runeblades in LL right now. Maybe not in this room, unfortunately for the Zens, but between Viserai, Aurora, your likes of even occasionally Vincent, and of course the Big Bad Chain, your Zen State tokens are very, very well positioned. So it makes sense that Zen is kind of showing up in some numbers there. Very happy to see this Dio. I think word is getting around. Looking at the leaderboard from last week, she picked up 5 or 6 wins in LL, right. And the deck is very, very strong over there. Turns out that if you have to ban something out of CC so the deck's not completely degenerate, it's probably completely degenerate over in the format where you're allowed to do that. Shocking, would you believe? And this is probably a pretty good room for that Dio as well. 2 Prisms is a good place to be. So.
I know they banned High Octane, but that combo that Sam did is not an easy thing to pull off. It's not like it happens every time.
No, but you also don't need to do that when you've got Tome of Fiendel.
Yeah.
You could just do some other degenerate nonsense instead, which is, I'm sure, fine. But, yeah.
Right, let's see who made it into the top 4. We've got Daniel Nyberg on Prism. We've got Italo Molina on Viserai. Joachim Gustafsson on Starvo. He's the 2023 national champion. He's got a ProQuest and a Skirmish under his belt. And Marcus, I want to say Johnson, but it might be Johnson, with Zen.
Mm-hmm. Was this actually a top 4, or am I about to embarrass myself again?
You're going to embarrass yourself.
Awesome.
Because there are only 8 players. So let's see who made it into these were the top 2 players. Daniel Nyberg on Prism. Joachim Gustafsson on Starvo. So it's a matchup that used to be when they were both in Classic Constructed.
This one is a tale as old as time, and if you listen way back when, Prism used to be the answer to beating Starvo in that format. Some people thought that they'd cracked it on the Starvo side by playing a pile of blinks and other nonsense that kind of lets you get away with some stuff there. And while you don't play blinks so much anymore, you are typically playing Lightning Greaves in Starvo some amounts. There are still ways to kind of spruce some action points in a pinch. That being said, I think I would still prefer to be on the Prism side of this equation. I think the matchup is a lot closer than it used to be honest. I think it was always quite close. But I do think I would prefer to be on the Prism side. So I'll take Daniel here.
Okay, let's confirm who won that one. It was the former national champion, Joachim. Well done indeed for winning it with Starvo.
Yep, very cool to see. Deck's still good, would you believe? Shocking, I know.
Indeed. Let's see the maps. Let's see how it all shook down. This is Sweden. So the mechanologists took the most prizes on this one, but a good spread nonetheless. Chain and Starvo taking honours up there in Stockholm and Uppsala. Let's go on to Ireland just to confirm. There we go. It has been mechanologist again taking the honours for Ireland. So well done. Lorenzo's won, as we saw, with Living Legend with Viserai. Let's go to the north of the country. We have...
hard not to laugh.
It's a bit of a Rune Blade fest. It's only Rob Catt and then sort of like Daniel Baxendale really holding everybody else back. Benjamin Marshall that we saw that we saw the results from Beanie Games as well with Terra. But it's a bit of a Rune Blade country as it's always been up north. Let's go into the Midlands. Quite a diverse lineup. We've got Living Legends, Starvo and Chain taking honours even there, and sort of like not one hero dominating sort of like the Blitz makeup in the Midlands. Let's go to the south of the country. It's not looking too bad. Dromai. This is the area where Bruno plays. So
Yeah, definitely more of a mix down here than there was in the Midlands there for a second. And I think it just goes to show that across both of these formats, they both have their faults, they both have their quirks, but there's enough diversity that whatever it is you enjoy, there's a way to play it, which is just incredibly cool.
So, I mean, the south of the country was always traditionally illusionist, so it's nice to see sort of like the illusionist in Dromai picking up the majority of wins down south. The time that they've put into those classes is still there. Let's go to London. So it's a bit of a brute country. It's not all KO fest, that's for sure. Let's see what's coming up, because that is the end of Skirmish. We've done 3 weeks done. You get a little rest, and then obviously and then it's well, some people have to practice. It is going to be the best pro tour there possibly could be, because we're in London. So I'll be there on a Saturday, so come and find me. But ProQuest is straight after. So if you burnt your PTI to enter London, you need to earn another one. So these are the dates for UK, Ireland and Sweden. These are all the games I will be covering for the ProQuest season. Hopefully I can get out to record some. Life is very busy at the minute. I'm moving house and we shall say, both sort of like parents, grandparents need more care. So I'm finding it very hard to
busy.
Get out and record.
Just know that everything you do for the community is much appreciated, Baz. And I'll say it on behalf of the comment section, but if you want to say it in the comment section below, he reads all of them, so you should. But yes, no, this is going to be a very impressive season of ProQuest, I think. Looks like a little fewer events on the table this time around, truthfully. I'm wondering if there's maybe a few that haven't been confirmed yet. But yeah, straight after London. It's funny, London actually kicks off 2 straight months of Flesh and Blood weekends for me. I don't get a single weekend off from London onwards. I'm going to die. And this ProQuest schedule is definitely part of that equation. So hopefully I'll see my fair share of you at some of these events. And depending on how desperate I get, you might see me traveling slightly further afield later in the month. We'll see.
Oh my God. I would say the Midlands is still struggling for shops hosting ProQuest. Yes, it might seem a bit light. I did kind of like do this a couple of weeks ago when I had time, so there might be more shops that have jumped on, but definitely Midlands area is very thin. The north, they've still got their big bar going across from Manchester to York, sort of like, you know, the usual shops will get them, and sort of like, you know, the smattering of down south that we see, they get quite a good, you know, spread right across the UK. But Midlands is very much lacking in sort of like places where you're going to play.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be EH if I'm lucky, and then maybe Patriot Games, Fanboy 3, and probably Toys and Games in Worcester. And then if we don't get lucky from there, well, maybe Stockholm's nicer than Canterbury. I'm not sure.
Thing is, I would say I would come up to EH Gaming, but Dice Cup's on the same day, so more than likely I'll be recording at Dice Cup.
Maybe I should just aim for Dice Cup, better company, and I know I'm going to get a ticket. So worth a shot.
It's whether or not Liam Holden's going to do EH Gaming or Dice Cup, doesn't it? So because he comes to both. Yeah. But last but not least, cheers, Scott. Thank you for the 3 weeks. Been awesome.
My pleasure.
To share your knowledge of Blitz, which wasn't much, but share it nonetheless.
Drop in a cup, mate. I'm happy to have influenced some people in playing the deck they were going to play anyway.
Yeah, the diversity we've had has been brilliant. Erica Forsloff from Sweden, Ireland, Ian Holland, Arcanet Spike, UK, Nathan Eastwood, Eek, Ollie, Seb Ball, Tom Evans, Elrissa, Electrum, Rob Catton, Cole, Cosmic Collectibles, Darren Hazelden, and Cash. Thank you so much for the results for this week. It's been brilliant. As always, UK community, Ireland and Sweden, I cannot do this without you. This show does not work. It just shows what a fantastic community we have. Scott, anything you want to say before we sign off? Apart from, come and see me on Saturday to get your Pro Tour dice. Okay?
You should do that.
I will be around on the Saturday only. I'll be floating about, but I'll definitely be playing in the Sink Below event at 6 p.m. So hang around, but you know, don't interrupt the game just to get a dice. All right, but just come say hello, say you see the show, and get a dice. I've only got 60, so better be quick.
Yeah. Let him know that Scott sent you, and maybe he'll give you one of the not chipped ones. I don't know. Maybe there's some perk for that.
No, I've been keeping them safe. They've been safe.
No, I think above all else, World Tour London is going to be something special. I'm very excited. It's nice to kind of flex my brain muscles and play a Pro Tour again. Been a lot of work and no play in recent months. And I'm bringing a lot of my new players down to their first calling my World Tour level event. And I can't wait to just eat good food, have good meals. I'm meeting up with a ton of the LGBTQ community that are meeting up in London as well, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible, and hopefully I'll see you there. That'll be lovely.
Nice, brilliant. Do you want to do the sign off?
Of course. You know how we do things around here.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to win a calling in 2 weeks' time. But until then, I have been Howling Minds. That has been Baz the Bard, and you have been amazing. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again next time.
Totally.